I am now recording this. This is a belated online session normally held on Thursdays, but done on Tuesday because somebody was off playing all week. So the question was how to download the data files from Canvas. So here is my Canvas. Ooh, I'm going to get rid of this so I don't have to look at that. I'm going to get rid of this too. You guys can't see what I'm moving, but you will when we watch the video. Or did you see those things? I don't know. Maybe you
No,
saw
I
them.
didn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. You wouldn't because those are part of the join.me, and I'm the only one that sees them on my side. But when I play the video back, they're there. Anyway, that has absolutely nothing to do with MATLAB or Canvas. So anyway, the question is how to get the data files off of Canvas, because if you just click on them, it just opens in another page, or sometimes it'll try to, if you do a copy as, will come as a HTML instead of the data file. So I will show you the more rigorous way that I have found to actually, we got more assignments, variations on chapter 4. So the best way to do this, okay, so first option is right mouse click, do a save as, and check the type. If it comes out as a .dat file or the Excel file, then you can just do a save. Obviously you want to locate it to your current folder so that MATLAB can find it to load it into your MATLAB. So I'll try that again. So save as, and it opens up as a DAT file, and this is my current folder in MATLAB, which is desktop MATLAB online. So obviously I don't have the cold work file there, so I will just save that. Now there are some here like this ACE data, and I just learned this tonight. When I do a save link as, it wants to save it as an HTML. Okay, you can save that, but it's completely useless because if you open this up, it's just a link to the data file. So if you get that, the best thing to do is to click on that, allow it to open up, and then there's a download button up at the top of that one where you can right mouse, save link as, and bring it into your data file. And then the same with Excel files. They should do, I don't think we've had much problems with Excel files. I think they pretty much come in as an Excel file. It's mostly the .dat and the .text. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
That's the best way to get the data files off. If you click on it and it brings up this file, another option would be to select everything. And now this is PC based only. A Mac, I'm not sure what to tell you, because my experience with a Mac is I know it's spelled with an M, I believe. So highlight everything, do a Control C, go to your desktop, create a new text document. Where did it go? Where did it go? Oh, there it is. It didn't open. And then do a Control V to paste it in there, and then do a save as, and go to your file. And I don't remember what the name of that. What was the name of that file I just did? I don't know. I don't know either. I think that was the screws.dat, and then just save it as a screws. And if it comes in as a .text, it'll be fine because we can do either one of those in MATLAB. That's one of the things I'm going to show you today on how to load the data files of the various type into MATLAB. So did that answer your question on getting the files off of MATLAB or Canvas?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay. Loading files into MATLAB. First off, you need to make sure that your files are located within your current folder. If they're not, there is a way to change the directory to where they are stored. However, but we don't teach the directory change in here, mostly because if you change the directory to a file on your computer and I try to grade your homework, it won't reach your computer, and my file, I guarantee you, will not exist as you have it specified. So please just use the default to the current folder. So loading, don't do that. Loading a .dat file, because most of these are coming in as .dat files. It's very simple. You type in the word load and spell it correctly, and the name of the file with the extension. So let's load the cold work file and the extension coldwork.dat, and that's it. That will now load that data file. Okay, we'll look in here, there's nothing in our workspace, and we execute this code. That just loaded it and saved it as a variable called cold work. So if we come over here and type cold work, you'll see all the data that was in that file. That's how we load, and you should have, hopefully, if you didn't do it like this on the first assignment on problem 221, you noticed my notes stating this is how to load a file. Okay, it's very important that you learn this, because if you're working with multiple large files, you don't want to be taking this and copying it and saying cold work equals all of that, because it's just very, very time consuming. It muddles up your let's see, we'll even call this one another name. It makes your, especially, I gave an exam once where there was like 15,000 rows, and some of the students just did not know how to do this, and they copied that in there, and I mean, I had to scroll through a lot of data to get down to the next problem. So this is how to load a .dat. If we do a .text, some of the files we deal with in this class are also .text, and it's the exact same. Do we have a .text? Oh yeah, we have the screws. So it's the same thing. Type in the file name as it exists and followed up by .text, and then we'll just have it print out. So there's the data that was stored in that file. Now the hardest one that we haven't learned, and I don't think they're really covered in the book, is reading Excel files, loading in. Now there's a couple ways to do Excel files. We ought to at least make it right. So if the best way to do it is to use the load. That way you don't have to import it every time you want to run your code. This time though, you have to, let's find one here that's ACE data. So we have ACE on there. So ACE is going to equal XLS read, which reads that file, and then you put in the file name with inside of single quotation marks. So this is going to be ace.xlsx, not a period, single quotation mark. And so now that read that in as it's supposed to have read that in as a file. There it is. It took it a while. So that brought that data in as a whoa, dude, oh, there it is, a matrix of 5 columns and 67 rows. We don't need you. And so now every time you run this, we can clear everything out. You don't have this feature up here. That's a shortcut that I created because I use it quite often. So now it's clear. So every time we want to run any code that's associated with that data file after we've loaded in, we would have to reload it or re-import it. But by doing the XLS read, it'll bring it in automatically. If by chance you desired to have it come in, let's say you wanted each of those columns to be a separate vector, We could do that here, read it in, and then reassign everything. Or you can, if you just double click on the Excel file, it will open up the import dialog box. And right here under output type, if you go to column vectors, you can also change the type of number it is, whether it's text, a number, a date, time, anything. You can also change the name. I'm not I forget what all of this data means, but you can all do that, and then once you're done, hit the import, close the window, and now if you look in the workspace, we have the 5 variables instead of just the one matrix. Clear as mud? No questions on that?
No, I'm good with that.
Cool.